Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the No Close Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you today. Hopefully you're off rocking and rolling and making some things happen for you. Today's a exciting day. Actually been busy the last couple of days with one of our recent note coaching students who came into Austin here and spent the last 2 days with us really kicking butt and taking names. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about because we've changed up, kind of evolved our coaching program, our one-on-one training over the last couple of years for a variety of reasons, just as the market changes and our business changes too. So in the past, one of the things we've done is spend 5 days going out and spending on Monday through Thursday with people in their house or their offices or a spot and really trying to focus on them stuff and realize not everybody's ready for all the things that we do. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Not everybody wants to do all the things that we're doing. And that's totally fine. Everybody's unique in what they're doing. And then, of course, we evolve that into us doing 6 to 8 weeks of online webinars and giving people tasks every week to accomplish. And that started off good. Most of the 6-week programs will start off with people doing something, but by week 4, week 3, week 5, they'd fade off and not complete what they needed to get done. And while that was great, because it was able to slice and dice up, and those that want to be successful fall through. Not everybody falls through because we all know life gets in the way. So we then evolved it where they would come spend 3 days with us. Is a small group sitting here in Austin, Texas, of 6 to 8 people, max of 10 at one point. And that worked well too. A lot of people closing deals. It's a smaller group setting, so they get a lot of one-on-one attention. But still, people have differences when it comes to where they're at, their experiences and knowledge, and then also kind of their technical skills. You know, do they have a LinkedIn profile? Do they have an email service that they can use to send out? So we've officially transitioned in a little bit different aspect of things. We still have that 3-day available if they want to come spend 3 days in a small group setting with them and their spouse and others. Totally have that available. But we're launched into something, and we just wrapped up our first 2-day with one of our coaching students. And it was extremely successful. And that's what I want to talk about today is what's all involved in our 2-day one-on-one note coaching program, and to kind of walk you through and kind of give you the idea, because Raf basically is from San Diego, you know, under 30-year guy. He's an entrepreneur, runs a successful business out there in San Diego right now. And he's like many people, they want to get into real estate. So he started doing research online, watching YouTube videos, reading books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he came across our book, How to Buy Real Estate at 40% Off, you know, on Amazon. He bought the book. He bought several other notebooks as well, you know, books focused on note investing. And in his own words, he said mine was the easiest to read because it was basically straight to the point, no nonsense, and just really gave him a good feel for the note investing so that he wanted to learn more about it. He said the others were not bad, but a lot of times they end up talking over people's head with lingo and jargon that if you're brand new to the industry, it just kind of flows over to you. So that was a compliment on our book. And so after that, after he bought the book, he actually went to our website and was looking for more information on some of our trainings, and he opted into our Note Mastermind. And he was totally blown away. He says that he suddenly, like in an hour or that same day that he actually opted into a couple of things on our website, I actually sent him a text message. I actually sent him a short 1-minute video just saying hi, introducing, and putting him on my calendar or giving him a link to communicate with me that we could schedule a one-on-one call for 30 to 40 minutes just to talk about him and his business. He said he was blown away by that. And that's what we did. We got on the phone immediately with him. We talked about what his goals were, his background with, and he didn't have a lot of real estate experience prior to it. Don't get me wrong. He lives in Southern California, very familiar with a lot of stuff. He's been to some investment meetings, but he wasn't ready for things. And so I said, listen, man, I would love it. He's like, I want to do your coaching. I'm like, let's hang on a second, man. And that's what I tell every one of you out there too. Look, our coaching is great, but if you come and you don't understand the basics, you don't start understanding some of the jargon and the lingo and things that we talk about, you're going to be like a fish out of water, and it would be a waste of money for you. And so I told him, I said, listen, if you really want to learn, then the next step for you is not the book, is not the YouTube videos or the podcasts that you've been listening to. And thank you to all our listeners out there. It's a great resource. But the next step is to either sign up for one of our virtual our online virtual workshops, or sign up for our Note Buying Blueprint. And our Note Buying Blueprint is our online study your own pace home study course. Tons of videos, tons of forms, tons of documents. It includes replays to some of our workshops, as well as some special bonus sessions on servicing and marketing, the note basics that a lot of people need to know to get rocking and rolling. And so we agreed, hey, go watch the blueprint, go learn that, and let's schedule up in a couple of weeks to talk about things. And so we did that. He went, signed up for the blueprint, started going through that. And then suddenly after Thanksgiving, I get a text message from him, and he's like, hey man, I'm ready to get rock and rolling. So we jumped on the phone call. We talked with him. I wanted to make sure he was, he was not going to come and waste his money. That's the last thing I want is somebody come in and not do anything, not be prepared, and not walk out with a good feeling about things. That's not what I want to do. That's not what really one-on-one coaching is all about. And so now, if I said, from talking with him, I said, okay, let's put it in the schedule. Let's talk about it. So he was like, hey, I want to do it in 2 weeks. I said, okay, we got spot, your flight booked. He got the time off of his business that he runs that worked best. And Tuesday, Wednesday works best for him versus like our Friday or Saturday. And that's one of the things that we're changing up is like, look, if you want to come, let's find 2 days out of the week that works best for you. It can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day except Sunday. Let's just leave Sunday as a day of rest. If you want to come Monday, Tuesday, great. You fly in Sunday night, that's fine. If you want to come Friday, Saturday, great. We can make that work too. But let's leave Sunday for a day of rest so you can either get back home and spend time with your family, get caught up. And he liked the idea of coming on Tuesday, Wednesday. So he flew in Monday night, got in late. Bam. I picked him up from the hotel here. We're at our office here. And we literally just went straight to work. The first, give you a bit of an idea, I always like to do a bit of a rundown, a review with people just to make sure they're not, I do this on the phone with them, over the phone, and either do a webinar or a Zoom call so I get a little bit of a feel for them. But I also want to make sure that they're on the right track. Where are they going? What goals do they want to accomplish? What are some of the things that they're really looking for? What are, because everybody comes to coaching or a workshop or training maybe with different goals than what I have set up inside for them, or what I think they want, maybe something way off course from them. They may be wanting this and this and this when I'm thinking they need, X, Y, Z. They may want A, B, C. So he spent that first morning going through on Tuesday with him, going through what he was wanting to focus on, and he's wanting to build cash flow. He enjoys what he does as an entrepreneur, but he wants to transition out of it. He's got a very successful auto detailing business in San Diego with a staff of about 15, if I remember correctly. And he runs it. I mean, it's a open 7-day-a-week kind of business for him, and he's very successful in San Diego, one of the best ones out there. And so we immediately started diving in. Okay, we basically said, okay, you're in a great market. Let's talk about how to raise capital in that area. Let's talk about what kind of deals you're looking for. We kind of broke down some of the different opportunities, whether it's first liens, contract for deeds, lease options, owner finance notes, first lien, second liens. We spent a few minutes going through that. He knew he wanted to focus on non-performing for the most part. And then we also talked a little bit about performing notes. We narrowed it down to residential first liens on performing assets that would bring in between a 12 and 20% yield to him. And then also non-performing stuff that he could see working out either foreclosing or get it reinstated that would see about a 20% return on investment to him. Those were our focus. We focused on price range. He had some money he's invested and saved that he wanted to start off with. He's not opposed to raising capital. He's got some friends with money as well. And so that's where we did. So basically Tuesday afternoon, because Tuesday was the first day. So Tuesday afternoon after lunch, boom, we dove straight into it. We started putting things together for him. We started working on his email campaigns. It was one of the most important things we talked about. Said, okay, if you want to achieve this as a number of goals or deals for the year, which his goal is to eventually get to where he's closing 50 deals a year, maybe not the first 12 months, but at least 50 deals. And he's like, do you think this can happen, Scott? Do you really think I can make and close on 50 deals? Of course, I say yes, because we've seen it done so many times by other students of ours. I mean, that's the thing we're the most proud of. So many of our coaching students are finding success and making things happen in the note business for their portfolio and really leaving a legacy, not only for their family, but for their future generations by really focused and putting some things in place. I mean, our biggest I guess you could say our biggest competition out there, the people in the industry, have always said that we know how to close deals and we know how to market. And if you know how to close deals and you know how to market, you know how to raise capital, you know how to make things happen, especially in this industry. So that's what we pride ourselves on. And we started going into that, started focusing, okay, let's, everybody that comes in to our fast track and our coaching get some things. I mean, they get some big bonuses. I mean, we've done a pretty good job of putting together a pretty good database of asset managers, people that we've reached to, people we've emailed and talked to for, golly, 10, 15 plus years. I mean, I've been in this business for 15 years now. It's hard to believe that. I've been an investor for almost 20. But I've built a big database of not only leveraging my time, but leveraging other students, and then also doing some special things to leverage building a good database of asset managers. So we started immediately diving on that with him to go through that. Okay, let's pull these lists. Here's the list that we want to use. Here's some contact information. Here's phone numbers. Here's email addresses. Here's LinkedIn contact information for these asset managers. Now, some of them, we have all of those. Some of them we just have two. Some of them we have just a contact information on stuff like that, which is okay. Hey, we just have to show how to reach out and best use his time to make things. Because, hey, he's an entrepreneur. He goes home. I want to make sure, especially if somebody goes back to a job or a business they own, that they have enough time in the day to be successful and to maximize the time they have each day. And that was one thing that we sat down immediately was, okay, tell me your schedule of the day during the week. What's your busiest times? Which times you have the most amount of, and that was the thing. He's like, hey, I'm busy early in the morning. I've got a couple hours, but late AM, early PM, and then we start to pick up with my business in the afternoons. But usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I have 3 to 4 hours a day during the day. And of course, every day I've got a few hours after 6 o'clock at night that I can make some things happen or do some things. So with those numbers added up, they're roughly 10 to 15 hours a week for him. I said, okay, let's plan on you doing some extra things, a couple things, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the side here, a couple things at night, including going to a networking event, going to a meetup group in your local Southern California area, and marketing for assets and capital. And he was, I love it. Let's dive into it and get rock and roll. He's like, I want to make some offers by the time I leave on Wednesday, if possible. And so I went to work for him on that. We put the list of asset managers in. We got an email blast written. We sent up a template in his CRM. He's using MailChimp. So we got a template set up for him that he can rinse and reuse, rinse and repeat. We've got 6 months of emails already pre-written and ready to get scheduled so that he can schedule these email blasts to go out on an automatic basis. He doesn't have to do much. We can set it up and it's ready to rock and roll. Set it and forget it. We also carved out and found a bunch of local investors in the county where he lives. Literally about 300 people within a mile and a half radius of where he lives and works, and then also a couple thousand in the greater San Diego County area. Names, addresses, emails, and some phone numbers, but mostly direct contact information. And one of the beautiful things we did with that information, we set up an email campaign. We set up an email template that he can set up and he can import new investors to. We set up a database for him where he's out meeting new people, networking. He can add them to that database, that email service, so he can email them out on a regular basis as well too, because he's got plenty of contacts. I mean, the guy's been in business for 4 years. He's got a pretty good database that he needed to put to work. He just didn't know how to do it. Didn't know how to start those conversations. And I think so many note investors, so many people that get into real estate, that they're going to the real estate expos or going to the meetings, the networking clubs, the REI clubs out there. It's a difficult situation in starting conversations and knowing what to say, what not to say, and how to talk about things. So that was one of my biggest goals on the first day, is that we worked his butt off. He was ready to leave at 5 o'clock, so much that he's like, man, I want to go back to the hotel, go to sleep. Let's do a rain check on a steak dinner on a Tuesday night. I'm like, okay, fine. But we put that in place. We put marketing in place for him to find deals. We put marketing in place for him to raise capital and to build his database, and then also a continued basis of things. And then also, we pulled a list of 12, 13 hedge funds that I'm close with, asset managers that sell assets or move assets on a regular basis. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's quarterly, sometimes it's weekly. So we did an email blast out to those guys and gals and immediately got in a couple lists for him to start looking at. Okay. So he could look at those on the first night while he's relaxing after taking a nap in the hotel room if we work him to death. And so he was really pleased. He had over 220 assets that we got sent in to us on the first day that we forwarded to him that he can start looking at. Some higher price stuff, some lower value stuff, some non-performing first, some performing first, some non-performing CFDs and some performing CFDs. And we also started talking about, okay, here's what to start looking at. Here's some of the parameters you want to look at when looking at these different lists. What makes a deal? What doesn't make a deal? Where do you want to buy? Where do you want to not buy? And we really put those things in place so that he could really get rocking and rolling. So day one, we had email campaigns up not only for asset managers, but also for IRA investors and his general database, and had that kind of already marketed out and already scheduled to start working for him. Okay, the first thing. We also had a list of stuff for him to take a look at. We also had his business model and business plan jotted down and had him already looking at assets at the end of the first day. And that's what we pride ourselves in, finding assets and starting to get better and getting that system home, because everybody's going to look at assets differently. Biggest thing we like to tell people, like, listen, not every asset we look at is a deal. Depending on what you're looking for, it could be a deal depending on what you're looking for, but it's not often for everybody. Every deal is not every asset is not a deal for everybody. Okay, so we went through some of the due diligence tactics as well, and day one was really busy. Day two came in, we immediately started sending out emails. We got some more emails sent out on his list and started to have people respond. We had bank asset managers reach out to him. We had the hedge fund guys and gals actually start making phone calls and calling him and sending him another list, 4 more lists of assets, some that were smaller lists, some that had some really nice stuff. I mean, we got an amazing deal in the Pacific Northwest that we're really excited about. We're waiting to see the information back from the seller on that one with the BPO and the servicing notes. I mean, a $300,000 asset where the borrower owes over $200,000 that we can pick up for 50% of the unpaid balance right now at a sizable price where they're already in default. So this is a $50,000 to $80,000 to $90,000 profit deal for Roth. He's pretty excited about that. It's a good looking piece of property on the water. We also spent time as he was looking at the assets over the evening. He said, I've kind of identified a few. So what we did is we took one list of 100 assets. We spent time, took the time to record me going through it with him and slicing and dicing and narrowing it down. And okay, this doesn't work. Get rid of these. Refocus on these. Get rid of these. These haven't been paying in over 5 years. It's probably vacant. This is an ugly piece of property, or the balance is too low, or the value is too low. So we took the time, about an hour roughly, and narrowed it down to roughly about 9 assets out of 100. Out of those 9, we narrowed those down even more to find 4 assets, 2 performing and 2 non-performing assets that he is excited about, that I'm excited about for him. That if he doesn't close on them, I'm going to make bids and close on them for him as well, because I'm really excited about these deals. Now, some people think that I take the best of the best off of a list and then send it to people. That's not what I do. If I get a list in and I'm working with a coaching student, a one-on-one student, I want them to close a deal. I want them to experience that feeling of, man, I can really do this. Oh, I can find some deals. And that's what we do. I don't think anybody else does it. And no, I don't take the price that's quoted to me and add 10, 20, 30% to it. That's not what I do. Seller tells me 35% of unpaid balance. Hey, my students pay 35% of unpaid balance. Okay, they make some bids. Great. Now I'll look at what they didn't bid on and go from there and make things happen. And the beautiful thing is Ross got some of his own money to fund these deals with. He was great, but we did not settle with that. We sat down and spent time and walked through, hey, what could happen with these assets? You know, what's the mind of the borrower? If you're not used to kind of being in those shoes of working with borrowers, we talked about these. Some of these, the value is a lot higher than what's owed on these. Some of these, they've done some repairs based on what we found online and really done a great job. So the value of these assets is far exceeds what's owed, but the ability to purchase these at non-performing prices makes it truly a win-win. A win, the borrower keeps paying, which it looks like they're going to do on a couple of these. If they don't, hey, we cancel the contracts or foreclose, and now we've got a windfall of 50 to 60 grand in equity on these assets. Or they keep paying, awesome. They keep paying, and we see a 15 to 25% return on the cash flow, the cash stream. I say he sees that, or his investors if he uses other investors out there. And that's another thing. Raising capital, a lot of people are intimidated by that. We went through and gave them some examples. We took time to create some flyers on these 4 assets that he actually put offers in on. He put offers in on 4 assets, and a 5th one is pending right now of whether he's looking. We're waiting on one more thing before we submit an offering. So we submitted offers, and then we took that information from those assets, and we created some sample flyers for him to be able to use when he's out networking, talking about the types of deals that he's doing, not something crazy fancy that you need to have a marketing assistant to put together. No, something simple, good photo, details of the asset, kind of what the strategy is, the story behind the story, and why it would make good for a good deal if somebody's interested in partnering with him or finding the deal or even buying the deal from him if he wanted to do that. So we spent a big chunk of time on day 2 going through that and also communicating with asset managers as he got some phone calls immediately. Hey, what are you looking for? What type of money do you have available to you? Where are you looking to buy? What's kind of your goals? We also introduced him to our vendor team of servicers and attorneys, and then also workout people to help him with his stuff so that as he's working in his full-time job in his business, he's not going to have time a lot of times to probably handle that. Especially when you're first starting off, you need a team of professionals to handle the borrower outreach. So we put that together for him, and that just really helped him plan out his weekly activities. Hey, what do I need to do? I'm like, you don't need to do a lot. Hey, let's make sure you get an email blast out to your database. Let's add a few hundred of these local investors to your database that you can email to on a weekly basis. Let's get you networking. We identified 4 real estate investment clubs in his area, so he can attend one a week. 2 of them were once a week. So out of 4 weeks out of the month, he's going to 4 of them, 1 the first week, 2 the second week, and 1 the third week. And is a great way to network. I mean, there's literally, we showed him how to tap into it. Over 10,000 investors online through meetup groups in the area are also attending in person here, especially with the near coming. It's a good time to go, especially January, February, March investment clubs are always the most packed as people want to take action and do something different with their goals. So we worked through those. We strategized on the 4 deals, the 5th one, and we really got things rocking and rolling. He's already had over a 10% open rate on an email out to the asset managers at different banks. He's had new connections on LinkedIn from that list where people are looking at his profile and connecting with him on LinkedIn. He's also had several people reach out to him that are interested in learning more about what he's doing, that have some money to invest. And he's also just kicking butt and taking name. And what more importantly, he left last night with a tremendous amount of confidence in himself, in his actions, in what we put together that he knows will work, because he's seen actions work. And that's one of the most frustrating things I see and hear from other note and real estate investors is people get excited. They go to an expo, they're meeting all these contacts, but don't know where to begin, or they go to a workshop, or they go to a seminar or something like that, and they love the information. They don't know where to begin. What are the actions that they need to take, the successful actions? Not just relying on one person to send them a tape that they went from the workshop, but how do they go out and hunt and fish on their own? Because here's the thing, everybody. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And my biggest goals is to teach people how to feed themselves for a lifetime. And so he's got these contact information. He's got the names, the phone numbers, the email addresses of the people, how often to contact these people, how often send an email blast. He's got specific things that has taken us years to build. But I know something. What do I know? There are plenty of deals out there that I can't possibly buy them all. Might I miss out on a few deals here and there? Okay, great. But that's the point. That's what keeps me fresh in this business, is to constantly go out and find and develop more sources, more leads for me and my students. You know, if he'd come to me and said, hey, I want to focus specifically on Southern California notes, I just said, I'm sorry, it's not a fit. Okay. If that's all you're focusing, I'm not the right guy, because it's a hard thing. We need to set some realistic goals for you. We did that. So why am I telling this? Why am I doing this? Because I get excited. I get really inspired when people have success, when people are getting phone calls and emails. But you know what that happens? That comes from taking action and following up. We've already communicated twice this morning. We've already got follow-up phone calls, because that's the thing too. You can't possibly learn everything by taking an online home study course and then coming and spending 2 or 3 days with somebody one-on-one. Now you can learn a lot. You can get a lot added to you. You can get a lot of that pump really primed to make things happen. But you're not going to learn anything. You still need support after the coaching, after the training. And that's what we also provide, is great follow-up support. If people need help with answers to deals or answers with issues. I mean, I answered questions for a lady last week is trying to close on a deal. Something interesting popped up with somebody else that's reaching out, getting ready to close on 100 assets, that I reached out to him and said, hey, do you have this set up? Do you have this set up so you don't fail by buying those 100 assets? He's like, yep, all good to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. I've got that taken care of. And I'm like, beautiful. So that's another thing. A lot of people feel like they're on their own, or you feel maybe like a number in a big workshop, or somebody's out there to promote themselves, and it's all about what's best for them. That's not what I'm about. I'm about, for my students, my coaching students, I'm all about working as hard as I can to make them successful. Now, some people come and then they go home and don't do anything. I can't help that. I can't hold a gun to their head. I mean, I guess I could, but that would be not good. I can't control them not taking actions. What I can control is showing them success from those actions, showing them that if they do it on a repeat basis over and over again, they will find success. And this business is all about doing simple things, but doing them over and over and over and over again. You know, everybody, that's what success comes down to, just doing the things, the monotonous things day in, day out, showing up day in, day out. And if you don't show up, you're not going to have success. And that's why I knew that Ralph would be successful, because as I was talking beforehand, and how he works 6 to 7 days a week in his business, is scheduling things. And we joked about, sometimes when you run a business, you're an adult babysitter controlling people. And he laughed. He was like, yeah, it's like that sometimes. I'm all about showing people the deals and showing them where they can find the money to make things happen. I mean, and that's one of the things that we do for our fast track coaching students. Come spend, if you really want to take your business to a whole new level, come spend 2 days with me, whether it's here in Austin, and we'll sometimes make exceptions and come out to somebody else's where they live. If you can't make it to Austin, hey, maybe we can make it to where you're at, and we can spend 2 days, 9 to 5, both days with you on your business, both days kicking butt and taking names with you, your business partner, or your spouse, and really dive into making you successful. Now, look, are the markets changing? Yeah, markets are changing. But I guarantee the things that we put in place are not only going to work well for the note business, all right, whether you're looking for performing or non-performing notes, it's going to work well in your real estate stuff. If you're doing other things besides notes, that's fine. I'm there to focus basically on the note business, but we can help you find deals. We can help you with marketing. We can help you set some basic things up that you can rinse and repeat that just work over and over and over again. Now, you're not going to do all the things that we do. We know that from the get-go. You're probably not going to throw 1,000 videos on YouTube. You're probably not going to start a podcast, okay? You're probably not going to go out and try to raise $1 million in the first 30 days. Although everybody is capable of that, you're not going to go out and close 50 deals in your first couple of days. You're going to close, 30 days, close on a couple assets. Get your feet wet. Learn how to do this business. Learn the systems, because that's great. You'll learn a lot from me. You learn a lot from a dummy. But you're going to learn more by taking action and learning by doing versus reading something in a book. And God bless. Hey, if you want to buy our book on Amazon, great. Go right ahead. Leave a review. Otherwise, you can drop me an email. And I might if you drop me an email, scott@weclosenotes.com, I'll send you a copy of our book. 73 pages, easy to read. You can read it on a flight, read it on the toilet over two. Well, some of you could read it in one sitting, but you can read it in an evening. Our whole goal for it is not to make thousands and millions of dollars as a public or as an author. That's never been my goal. That doesn't work. My goal is to get the quality information to people that want to take action and help them be able to buy real estate, how to break into the secret world of note investing and really take their business to the next level. Some people, hey, they learn enough in our virtual workshops. Some people learn enough in our boot camps or our note buying blueprint to take action. That's totally fine. Others need extra coaching, extra hand holding, sometimes a kick in the butt to make things happen. Some people need to break away from what they're doing because life, job, family, hey, sometimes gets in the way of you doing things and be able to plant those first seeds, get rock and roll. And you need somebody to come in and break away from where you're at for 2 days and spend a couple of days with me, the note guy, and help you set these things up, help you put some things together, help you put a calendar together, help you have some things pre-written that work that you can just 1 or 2 sentences to make it your own. If somebody's asked me, well, Scott, don't your students end up emailing me the same asset managers over and over again? Is there a lot of crossover? And the answer to that is yes and no. In most situations, asset manager emails will be open at a maximum of around 20% at one time, or 30%, 35, percent in one outing. What do we mean by that? You may get a 17 to 20% open rate the first time, a 5 to 10% the second time you send it out to those that didn't open the first time, and then a 1 to 5% ratio of opening percentage of the list of those that didn't open the third time. That's great. Some people open different emails or different things. Some people open different filters. There's different people that open up my emails versus Raphael's emails. There's other people who open up your emails differently from mine. What's that mean? When you got over 5,000 sources, that still leaves a lot of places for people that have assets for you to reach out to. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we can show you how to find sources. We can show you how to reach out to them. We can show you how to connect and be smart. Now, does Ralph have a lot to go through, still a lot to learn? Yeah, he sure does. But I think everybody wishes that they were young or they got started earlier in life. And he's doing an amazing job of getting started on his investing career. He's going to have some big things happen over the next 2, 3, 4 decades out there. And as we come to the end of a decade and the beginning of a whole new year, whole new decade, that's why we wanted to offer up a very special opportunity. We've had a big goal for ourselves this year in 2020 to really help. Don't get me wrong, we help thousands of investors through our workshops, our podcast, our Note Night in America webinars. 5 years ago, I set a goal to help 10,000 note investors, help create and help educate 10,000. We hit that number already. Okay, in year 5, we've already exceeded that number. So I want to do something a little bit different. I want to take it to a whole different level. I want to help 100 serious investors who really want to take their note and real estate and business to a whole new career, whole new level in the new year. By inviting those 100 people that are serious to come spend 2 days with me here in Austin, to come spend 2 days with me here in Austin or your hometown, just us, one-on-one, working on your business, working to set up things, working to work on those lists, working to help you find deals, help you find funding, help you find investors in your county that you can reach out to. Now, that's the biggest thing that most people, they love going to classes, they love learning, but when it comes down to pulling the trigger to doing some big things, they get scared and run, screaming somewhere else because they're just scared. They don't have the confidence. They don't have somebody to sit there and say, okay, type this and hit send or hit send the damn email. When to send it, when not to send it, when to call, when not to call. That's what people need. And that's one of the biggest and best things that we love doing is helping people send the damn email, make the phone call, make the offer, and help them raise the capital to close on the deals that will change not only their lives, but their family's legacy. But also, if you think about it, it's changing legacies all across the country, changing the outlook of borrowers who they keep in the properties and get them back on track, changing the life of their investors that they work with, changing the life of their spouses or families because maybe they're not stressed about their job this year. They want to make some real money, some real great way to make either passive or very active income. And so, getting that gear started, getting that things rocking and rolling for them, and they can realize that, hey, success as a note investor is a whole lot easier than what they expected, and it can happen a whole lot faster by taking 2 days to drink from a fire hydrant to really have me put some nitrous oxide and turn your note business into a lean, mean note buying machine. So I encourage you, if you're listening to this, watching this video, either drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below. If you're watching this on social medias, leave a comment below, or send me a direct message. And I'd love to get on the phone and talk with you. See if it's a fit for you. It's not a fit for everybody. I mean, if you don't, you don't have social media profiles, or you don't have an email service, and you're against that, then this probably is not for you, because those are some marketing tactics. But you've got to be coachable. You got to be willing to put in some work. We're not talking 80 hours a week, but willing to put some time in. Aren't your dreams worth that? Aren't your goals and what you want to provide for your family, your kids, your spouses worth that? I know they are worth it. I know it is worth it. I know it's a lot easier than most people think. I know it's a whole lot easier than most people think. Marketing is not difficult. You've just got to do a little bit extra than most people do. And there are still plenty of deals out there for you to make real money and become a note closer. So I encourage you, like I said before, guys and gals, if you're listening, you want to do this, reach out to me, scott@weclosenotes.com. I'd love to visit with you and see if it is a fit. If it's not a fit, I'll be the first person to tell you, I don't think it's a fit, just because of this, this, and this. But here's how I would proceed if I were you, or here's what I would do otherwise. I don't want to steal your money. I'm here to actually provide some good quality for you. And we've got a value what we're offering on this. Usually our coaching has been anywhere from 15 to 25 grand. We're doing a special 2-day one-on-one fast track for 10 grand. You plus a spouse or partner. You've got to either already share an LLC, and blood, or a bedroom with the person that you're bringing aboard and working with. And that's an important thing to have. No splitsies. You've got to be already, like I said, in a relationship of some sort with a person. But we'd love to have you. We've never done it this cheap at 10 grand. You can either come to Austin, spend 2 days with me here in Austin at our offices Monday through Saturday, or I'll come out and spend 2 days with you in your market as well, and we'll work with some things. But I encourage you, reach out to me, scott@weclosenotes.com. You always send me a text message, 512-585-3810. Once again, 512-585-3810. And I'll be glad to text you back. And let's start a conversation. Let's see if it's a fit. Let's see what your goals are. Maybe it's not coming in 2 days. Maybe you just need to spend more time going through one of our workshops or going through one of our trainings at a cheaper price. That may very well be it, and I'll be the first person to tell you that. But for those of you who are serious, those of you that have taken classes and workshops and not had the success that you want, I mean, I talk to people all day long who've been around for 12, 24 months. When I ask them how many deals they close, and they go, 1 or 2. I'm like, you can close a whole lot more than that. So once again, everybody, I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for listening to this. I'd love to visit with you. Like I said, I'd love to be a part of the 100 and help you go out and make some things happen and really work to see you at the top of your note game. Have a great day, everybody. See you later.